All right, guess we are live now. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone who is joining us today, wherever you are. Thank you for taking the time to join us at the opening ceremony for the hackathon, Polkadot Hackathon Asia Pacific Edition. Joined today with me is Urban, who will take us through a little bit of our welcome address, and to share a little bit more from Polkadot's perspective, what they are looking out for the hackathon, and to really to encourage you to what to look for at the hackathon as well. So, Urban, why not? Let's just pass the time to you first, and take it away.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, I really have just three slides for everybody prepared. Justin, you can go ahead to the first one. I basically my message here is going to be very, very short and condensed. Beginning with essentially that this is a beginning of everybody's journey. Obviously, no, not everybody is completely new in the ecosystem. You might have been building something before, you might have not, you might know people, you might have a company in the Polkadot ecosystem or not, right? So we're basically people from all walks of life, but I really think that it's important to mention that this is the beginning of a journey. So in front of us is a 7.5, 8 week hacking experience. There's going to be mentor hours, there's going to be judging, there's going to be support, there's going to be ups and downs. But I think first and foremost, this is definitely a stepping stone into the Polkadot ecosystem. Like I said, whether you're here from before or you're completely new, this is definitely one of the stepping stones into our greater community. Um, I really think that with these hackathons and so on, we tend to focus too much on the code and on the building stuff and so on, which is extremely important. But please don't forget that a part of your journey here is actually to meet people, to make new friends, to meet your future, employers, employees, to meet your future co-founders, maybe best friends, maybe spouses. I don't know what this might hold, but essentially, this is definitely beyond just obviously the education and the building, the prizes and so on. So definitely don't forget that. Justin, let's go to the second part of my message. Um, how to be successful. Now, I'm not going to go on to explain you how to be successful in life. Let's focus just on the hackathon here. Um, Basically, between me and Justin, we've run a fair share of these hackathons, especially, AngelHack is a company that specializes in this. And we've seen a few different things that actually work and that maybe people forget. So this is by no means like a silver bullet. You do this and you're gonna do amazing. You're gonna do really good. At the end of the day, you have to do really good. Like the project that you submit needs to be really good. The code needs to be good, and so on. So, but there's a few components that people sometimes forget that can help you with the success. So, um, number one, this is by far there's a massive gap between number one and number two. Find a team. So it is extremely important that you work in a team. Although we have seen in the past, solo submissions, solo hackers doing just an amazing job. There's absolutely no need for you to be in a team, but the amount of work that can be done, the amount of creativity, ideas, and so on, is goes up exponentially when you add a couple of people, especially with the skills that match yours. So, don't be shy. Go out there, socialize. I know in a virtual setting it's a bit more difficult, but still, I think it's definitely worthwhile to kind of try this out and give it a shot, and try and meet a few amazing people that are participating here. Number two, build a front end. I have said this on every hackathon that I've ever run. And I know it sounds very trivial, and some people might forget this, focusing on maybe you're building a blockchain and the front end is just not that important. That is absolutely true. But you got to understand that as is everybody else, so are the judges that are going to be looking at your submissions. They're human beings, right? So they tend to like to look at stuff that they intuitively can understand, not just the code, but actually, you know, if you can click on something and it does something, it's definitely going to expand that experience. So don't underestimate building a front end to what you're doing. Number three, and this is the last one. um, do not underestimate the description, the video, building a brand, building a story around what you're doing. So similar to number two, right? We all like to click and interact and see what the thing actually does. Equally important, the story around it. And don't forget that we as human beings, we like to be told stories about where this is coming from, what can be done, what it's solving, how does this, make the world a better place. So, and this is especially true for non-technical co-founders. If you're kind of struggling with, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to participate here, I don't know where to help, this is where you can help, right? Help out building descriptions. You need to submit a video as part of the submission requirements. So this is exactly where you guys can come in. Obviously, the whole team should be helping on this, but this is an area that is oftentimes neglected. So what happens oftentimes is that we get a piece of code that on itself could be amazing, right? But we have no context of what it's actually doing, what it's solving, what it's addressing, beyond like a simple description. So please go the extra mile. I don't know, double check your English, right? If that's a weak point, double check your grammar, double check stuff that you've actually put out. Make an effort to maybe create some visuals around it and so on. So this all goes a very long way. So in addition to obviously you need to build some amazing stuff, these are some of the three components that can take you the extra step. So Justin, last slide for me, please. Um, which is titled "What Comes Next" or "What Comes After." Now, I know this hackathon is, it's a long 7.5 week period that you're going to be working on, and please use every minute of it. Don't postpone everything to the last week because you're not going to have time to do that. So what I think is important is also to note, like we had the beginning of the journey, that this is not the end of the journey, right? You're not supposed to think that this is a hackathon. Oh, I'm done with the hackathon. Maybe I won a prize. Maybe I didn't. That is it. That is by no means it. Across the Web3 Foundation, Parity Technologies, as well as the Polkadot network on its own, we try to do a lot beyond just hackathons, right? So it's important that you know that this is not the end. So what can come after the hackathon? Well, we obviously have a community program that's called the Ambassador Program. The Web3 Foundation, for instance, has grants available, and the Substrate Builders Program run by the Parity Technologies team. And all of these are just fantastic engagements, right? So if you're looking for the next step, you've built a project, you don't know what to do next, these are definitely things that should be on your radar. Obviously, there's incubators, accelerators that are run by some of the community teams. There's, for instance, on-chain treasuries, both by the Polkadot network, Kusama network, as well as some of the parachain teams have their own treasuries. So Kamran, the organizer, is the Web3 Foundation together with AngelHack. So don't forget that this is not the end. When the 7.5 weeks are done, this is not the end. So, like I said, we've got programs, initiatives. There's much going on, but obviously not everybody wants to be a founder, right? Not everybody wants to be in charge of their own project. So, and it's completely fine. I can tell you straight out that there are ecosystem teams hungry to hire talent. That is the absolute reality out there. So there is not enough talent, and there's a massive demand for talent. So you guys are actually in a fantastic position. I'd love to be in your position right now, because you're gonna learn a lot. You most likely have really good skills from before. You're coming into a fairly nascent ecosystem which is hungry for talent, and here you are you've built something, you have a really good understanding of maybe Substrate, Polkadot in general. You are in a prime position to get a fantastic, fantastic job. So don't forget that this is something that is actually happening. And to back that up, what I said, I'm going to give you two examples. Last year, we ran a hackathon called Hack Kusama. And one of the teams in there, nobody knew them or anything, right? We were unrelated. A team came in, which is called Hydra DX. So some of you that are around have heard of Hydra DX. Hydra DX has successfully launched a parachain on Kusama network. There are very, very active ecosystem team, some of the best builders that I've seen as well. And not to be singling anybody out, but they were a fantastic hackathon team. So the team actually came together just before the hackathon. They outlined their idea and started working on it, and actually won a prize during the hackathon. And this was the catalyst for them to, basically take the company live, to essentially launch the whole company and go on this journey. So a hackathon can definitely help you on that journey, help you to build it out, help you to find a team, and move it to the next step. So yes, thank you, Jimmy. Born in a hackathon, Hydra DX. The second example that I want to give is from Hello World, which we ran last year on Gitcoin. It was one of the largest, it was the largest hackathon event on Gitcoin to date, I think still is. And there were 12 hires made directly from the participants pool. I think some were even with parity, and most were with the ecosystem teams. So this is something that we often forget how important this actually is. That people who participate in these hackathons, you participants, are really, really well positioned to get into a job in the Polkadot ecosystem. And I can assure you, there's appetite for for talent like that. So with that said, what comes after? A lot can come after. There's stuff that's prepared in terms of programs, initiatives, but there's also hiring opportunities. And absolutely, don't view this as the end of your journey in the Polkadot ecosystem. And with that, thank you very much. I'm going to hand it back to Justin, who's going to take you through the hackathon, its specific operations, dates, and so on. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Urban, for sharing, for a quick sharing for all the people who are here today. And I really hope that this is really an opportunity for you to understand that, this hackathon has various purposes that we really want to achieve. One is really to create a community where people get to meet and learn together, and to really have an opportunity to try new things, especially if you're really new as a developer, or just have a genuine interest to start creating a little project or to learn a little bit more about the blockchain space. And last but not least, for those who have already been a developer for quite some time and all, just know that there are a lot more opportunities out there beyond just winning the prize and participating and submitting a project. So the first leg of this Polkadot Hackathon Global Series is kind of starting in Asia Pacific. As mentioned, or I do see quite a few questions coming up, is that even though it's marketed as a Asia Pacific leg of this hackathon series, but what I would like to say is that everyone around the world we welcome you to actually participate at the hackathon itself. Don't let the geography restriction stop you from actually participating. And Urban and I believe the rest of the team in Web3 and Parity Technologies will really welcome you to join us at the hackathon itself. So what to expect at the hackathon? Just key areas that I would like to highlight before I dive deep into the information and details about the hackathon. It's really about 7.5 to 8 weeks of hacking, where you are able to learn the basics through a couple of resources that's available, both on Participants Guide or even on Polkadot Pathways. And it's really a great opportunity, especially for those who are new to the space, to really be able to start building your first blockchain project. And it really is a place where there's lots of networking opportunities. We have events such as networking, virtual networking. You have your technical workshops, and you have lots of other opportunities where you get to meet different people, even on the Discord channel as well. Of course, we have we have the mentors office hours to where we have a panel of mentors who are ready to guide you along the projects, and make sure you utilize this opportunity to check in with the mentors on whether or not your ideas needs to improve, or if what you're looking at is comprehensive enough, or if you get stuck in your coding and think of the project, use this opportunity to really check in with the mentors, and they will be glad to really point you in the right directions. Of course, there are lots of resources and technical workshop where you are able to read up, watch, and also to learn along the way as well. And last but not least, is really for people of varied level or skills level to really develop and build up your skills when it comes to the blockchain technology. So for this Polkadot Hackathon, there's actually 3 key categories. One, it's building a blockchain where utilizing the substrate, you'll be able to build different blockchain that is actually stem out from substrate itself. This will be great for people who already have experience on building various infrastructure prior to this. Even for those who are very familiar with the Polkadot space, this will be the space for you to work on some of the ideas that you have. Of course, for those who are not that familiar in it, we actually have an open hack track, where the objective is really for you to think about what are some of the toolings that you can build. It can be wallets, it can be things about governance and all. It's really an opportunity for you to think beyond what is currently available and to see how you can make use of this technology and build something great out of it. Of course, for those who are kind of like not really comfortable in doing a coding or to build a project, we actually have accounted for you guys out there and created a Docathon where if you are someone who is really great at documenting things or making sense of words in order to help people understand what a project is all about, you are welcome to actually attend this track. And really in this space of blockchain technology, people who are able to do documentations is greatly valued because it helps people to understand better what each project is all about. And, we really encourage people to attend this as well. So jumping into the prizes for Build a Blockchain track, what we have is the first, second, and third prize, which we have $8,000, $5,000, and $2,000 respectively, with various items such as a Polkadot engraved ledger device, where you'll be featured on Polkadot social media, and you are able to win some Polkadot swags. On top of that, you actually get an opportunity to potentially participate in expedited pitch sessions for substrate builders, and there's also an opportunity for you to be entitled a 50% discount for the Substrate Runtime Developer Academy, depending on what the project that you have won for during the track as well. Of course, on top of that, what we are looking at is also to open an opportunity for the public to vote for their favorite. And they too, the project itself will also be able to get some cool swags and $2,000 as well. For the Open Hack track, it's fairly similar to Build a Blockchain track. Basically, there's only one prize, which is the main winner, winning $8,000, and the rest of the items are similar to what the Build a Blockchain is. And similarly, we are also having a public's choice where you guys get to vote for your favorite project as well. For Docathon, on the other hand, we actually have 5 sets of winners, and each winner will actually be walking away with $2,000 in cash, along with a Polkadot engraved ledger device, getting featured on Polkadot social media, and also some cool Polkadot specs. So the key highlight for the entire 7.5 weeks, I'll actually point down to a few key events that will be happening throughout the 7.5 weeks to 8 weeks, more so kind of on the weekly basis. One of it will be a virtual networking session that will be happening next Wednesday. And if you have actually registered for the hackathon, you realize that part of the question is really to ask you which is your preferred time slot for a virtual networking session. And we've heard you, and we are going to go ahead with 2 different sessions, one at 6 p.m. Singapore time. In that case, if you are at CET time, it will be around 12 noon. And the second session will begin 3 hours later at 9 p.m. Singapore time, which is about the current timing that you're looking at right now. So these 2 sessions will really create an opportunity for you to meet people who have registered to participate at the hackathon. Also for you to form teams if you are currently looking out for teams to join. Last but not least, it's an opportunity for you to get together and kind of like start brainstorming what kind of projects that you really want to work on, what is the track that you want to work on, and so forth. Beyond that, on the following week, we will head start 2 key activities. One will be the Mentors Office Hours, which will take place on every Wednesdays. It will be running for 2 hours at 9 p.m. Singapore time, which is the current time slot that the event is actually happening right now as well. And we have technical workshop running on every Friday, an hour earlier, which is at 8 p.m. Singapore time, also around 5:30 India Standard Time as well. So these 2 sessions will provide an opportunity for you to first meet up with mentors for them to check on your current progress on a weekly basis. And if you have any questions that you need to ask them, you use this opportunity to do so. The technical workshop, on the other hand, will cover various topics to bring you a deeper understanding of things such as, Substrate 101, what are some of the key things to take note of for documentations, and so forth, even best practices that you should be looking at when you're developing your projects. And don't miss out this technical workshops. And if you have not done so, you can actually start registering based on the Crowdcast link as well. Last but not least, it's really to let your hair down and kind of like take a break among all the busy schedule that you have during the hackathon. On the 13th of November, we will be having a trivia night where it will just be us having fun, a good get together, and it's a pure networking session for us to have some fun as well. So let me quickly touch on the team formation as well. For those who have registered, I believe you would have put on the option of either you are hacking solo, or if you are actually having to form the team, or you may potentially be looking out for members to join your team as well, or even other teams that you would like to join. The next few slides is really to cover some of the scenarios where you are looking to form teams, and hopefully this information will help you along as you start looking out for team creations as well, and that you will be able to get into teams and start working on the projects. So first of all, if you are looking to join a team, basically what you can do is to head on to the participant guide that is sent to your mailbox upon registration. Go on to the free agents directory section where you will need to search for your name. And under your name, you can just click on register to join an existing team. If you manage to find a team to join, to join along the next few days, all you need to do is just to complete the form upon clicking the register to join an existing team, follow through the components on the form and click on join team, and you will have complete the process of joining the particular team. All you need to do then later on is just to check whether your name appears under the same team in the team's directory to make sure that the process is successful. So what happens if you're currently in a team and, as a team leader, your team is actually full? And to let you know, the team in this case is that you it will be 4 people in one team at the maximum, and of course you are free to hack solo. So team leader, you will need to access the team directory also via the participant guide and click on update team profile, where you complete the form that you see and click on update team profile. In this case, your team will be recognized as full and no one will be able to join your team later on as well. What happens if you kind of join a team and you realize that, you kind of appear different from the rest of the team? Chances are you might have spelled the team name wrongly, and do take note that it's actually case sensitive. In this case, what you need to do is head on to Teams directory, search for your name, and click on team update team name. And you just have to follow through the process, and you'll be able to ensure that you will be added to the same team as the rest of the members as well. Lastly, if along the way you have found other teams that you would like to join instead of the one that you are currently in, all you need to do is similarly go to Teams directory, click on Change Team, complete the form, and you'll be done. So right now, I'd like to introduce to you the pool of mentors who have availed themselves for the next 7.5 weeks to walk you through the entire process of your project planning and execution as well. These 7 mentors will be available in the respective mentors office hours, where they will be able to meet you and go through your project and any questions that you have. So one way to reach out to them is, of course, via the mentors office hours. On the participants guide as well, if you head on to the mentor section, there is actually a liner where you will have to book a slot with the mentor via a booking system. Basically, it's a Google Sheet where all you need to do is just to indicate your team name and the team leader's Discord ID to secure a slot with the mentor. And when the mentor office hours is nearing, we will be providing you a Gather Town link where you'll be able to join the mentors and meet them at the stipulated timing. Do note that this Gather Town that will be readily available for during the mentor office hour session will actually be a hackerspace as well. So even if you are not, even if you don't intend to meet the mentors, or even if you did not manage to secure a slot with any of the mentors, you can still come into this space and utilize it just like a physical space where you can meet up with your teams to kind of brainstorm and work out your project ideas as well. Other ways where you can connect to the mentors will definitely be the Polkadot Hackathon APAC Discord sub-channel under the hackathon, under these channels that's available there. The other way, it's actually to drop them a DM and all the mentor Slack ID are over there. Similarly, once you are on the Discord channel, you will be able to search for the mentors, and the name and Discord ID of the mentors will be available on the participants guide that you'll be receiving as well. So the important part of the hackathon would be the judging criteria. All projects will be judged against a few criteria, and do take note that for Build a Blockchain, AngelHack, and Docathon, there will be slight criteria that the projects will be judged at. For Build a Blockchain, there will be 4 criteria that will be judged in. One will be the impact and usefulness of the submission, whether or not it kind of fits into a Substrate and Web3 ecosystem as a whole. Number 2 will be its creativity, innovation, and originality, whether or not this project is new and novel compared to the existing ones. Number 3, technical complexity, the level of skills or knowledge required to build the submission. And last but not least, the user experience, whether or not this project has its UI and UX well designed for the potential users. The AngelHack will have the same criteria of impact and usefulness, originality, technical complexity, and user experience for the judging criteria. And do take note that these 2 tracks will be scored a total of 20, where each criteria will take up 5 points each. The Docathon, on the other hand, has a different judging criteria, and these are the 4 criteria that the Docathon submission will be judged in. One will be the clarity, whether or not the steps are clearly outlined and language is clear and easy to follow, based on the documentations that are all being submitted. Number 2, the examples and resources, whether or not it's easily understandable for the potential users. And number 3, the use cases where it's being clearly defined and relevant, and it really address something useful for others to learn about. And last but not least, to create an overview where the scope of the how-to guide or tutorial is clearly defined and links to other content to give reference to the reader. For the Docathon track, if you are able to either base it on a current projects that is already available. It can also be based on projects that you yourself are currently building, or it can also be against a project that another team might be building in this hackathon as well. So for the submission artifacts for Build a Blockchain and AngelHack, these are the items that needs to be submitted during the submission phase. Of course, your team name and the project title, along with a summary. A summary would be about 3 to 5 high-level overview on what the project is about. Of course, the category of submission, do let us know if your project is submitted under the Build a Blockchain or AngelHack track. Definitely a GitHub repo link with a README file, a 3 to 5 minute pitch video. This is what Urban has also mentioned earlier on, that this pitch video should be something that helps the judges to clearly understand what the project does. And you should also use this opportunity to highlight the judging criteria based on the project that you have built. Of course, you need to submit a list of tech stack used. And of course, if the project is already deployed, you will have to submit the demo link as well. The Docathon, on the other hand, is a little bit more straightforward. Apart from submitting the team name, you will need to submit the project title that the documentation is actually based on. Of course, the project description of what the tutorial or document is all about, a GitHub repo link, and last but not least, if the project that the documentation is based on is being deployed, you need to share the demo link so that it gives the judges a context while marking your documentations on against as well. So here are the few submission rules that you need to take note of. Submission deadline will be on 12th of December, which is a Sunday at 11:55 p.m. Singapore time, and that is 9:25 IST, and that is also approximately around 5:55 p.m. CET. Key things that you need to take note of is that you should not be submitting projects that are not created by you. In any case, if you're using any existing projects that you're making reference to, especially for the Docathon track, please give credit to the project and do check on license of any public repository before utilizing them. Last but not least, and the most important part, is what we call the fresh code rule. All submissions must be written during the hacking period from today until 12th of December. So, pointing back to the resources that's actually available, Polkadot have actually built a curated set of learning journey on the Polkadot pathways, where there is a series of challenges that focuses on 3 key areas. One will be hackathon-related items, meaning things like saving the calendar invite, getting onboarded to the participants guide, and joining Discord channel and all will be part of the task that goes under the hackathon category. Of course, there are 2 other categories called Learn and Build, where it helps you to gain better understanding and some experience on building on Substrate and, to kind of get you started. I think the whole objective over here is really for you to be able to understand what's involved in the hackathon itself and to really get you well equipped to be able to attempt and start on project by yourself. So with this Polkadot pathways, what's going to happen is that for each of the challenges that you take on, be it under the hackathon, learn or build category, you will actually be earning points for yourself, and the top 50 on the leaderboard will be able to earn a swag box with all the cool Polkadot Hackathon merch inside as well. Leaderboard will be updated on around twice every week, and we will let you know once the leaderboard is up and ready for you to have a look and just to see where you stand on a weekly basis. So a quick recap, the hacking period will take place on the 22nd of October to 12th of December, and we have a total prize pool money of $30,000 with other additional items up for grabs. And there are 3 categories of build a blockchain, a open hack, and a Docathon that is available for you to take part in. So please take on any of the challenge that you like to have for the hackathon itself. We have online resources and the mentors who are readily available to help you throughout this hacking period. So please grab hold of all the resources available and really use this opportunity to start to begin your journey as a developer if you are here the very first time. And even if for those who are joining for the sake of the Docathon track, use this opportunity to start something and contribute to the ecosystem as well. Last but not least, this hackathon is really a space for you to network and grab hold of all the opportunities to be able to meet different people, make new friends, and even like Urban say, you may or may not even meet your future spouses, or make have new friends that you can hang out with as well. So how do you get started? For those who have yet registered for the hackathon, please register right now. That will be a qualifying criteria for any of the projects that's being submitted to be up for grabs, to be considered for the prizes as well. So just make sure that all team members within your team are registered for the hackathon, and throughout the whole period of time, please use the same email address that you have registered as well. So if you're at the computer screen and it's not convenient for you to click on any of the web browser, grab your mobile phone right now and scan the QR code out there, and you'll be linked to a registration page. For those who have already joined us, the next 3 steps will be equally important. One will be to join the Polkadot Discord. It will be where all the announcements and happening will take place, and all the upcoming activities will also be announced over there. Second, if you have yet saved the calendar invite, please do so, because all the events have been updated on the events calendar. You will be able to access all the links that is required for all the different networking activities and even technical workshops and all. So please do that. And last but not least, if you're not already on Polkadot Pathways, it's really a perfect place for you to get started. If you currently do not have an idea yet, or you are still currently looking for a team to join, don't waste any of the time by heading over to the Polkadot Pathways and start learning and start earning points. And it's just a great opportunity for you to learn cool swags for yourself as well for the hackathon. So before we kind of close for the day, let's just see if there are any questions that we can answer. Urban, it's an opportunity for you to come in as well. If there's any questions. So one of the questions people are asking is how many people can be in the team. It will be a maximum of 4, where it is highly encouraged, where you form a team. But of course, if you feel that you are great and that you feel that you work best as a solo member, you can also register yourself as a solo team as well. Other than that, we do have Jimmy answering most of the questions already. I guess the most important part is that the Polkadot Hackathon, even though it's marketed as Asia Pacific, please, if you're at the rest of the part of the world, do feel free to join us as well. Everyone under Web3 Foundation, Parity Technologies, and even AngelHack really welcome you all to actually join us, regardless of where you are at. So last call for any questions before I kind of round it up. Last group of people that you should be taking note of, especially even on the Discord channel as well, will be Urban, Jimmy, who are from Web3 Foundation and Parity Technologies respectively, Justin, which is me, and Harish, who is our community lead from AngelHack, will all be available on Discord channel as well. If you have any questions along the way with regards to the hackathon, do feel free to reach out to us. Our Discord ID would be on the participants guide as well, if that's something that will be easily for you. There's no deadline for registration per se. We will be opening up the registration throughout the entire period. But what I'll encourage you to do is really to register as early as you can in order to avoid any rush, to kind of like finish the project as well. All right. Last but not least, this is just an official announcement to say that hacking begins for Polkadot Hackathon Asia Pacific Edition. As of right here, right now, you can start writing your code if you already have any idea of what you want to build. But if not, please head on to Polkadot Pathways. And if you have other things that you need to check out, you can read through the participants guide as well. And lastly, and thanks Harish for emphasizing, all team members need to be registered in order for the submission to be considered for the prizes. All right. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join the opening ceremony. I hope that you're all excited for this hackathon, and really it's really a space for people of any walks of life and different experience level to join, even if you don't aspire to be a developer and you really want to contribute in this ecosystem. I would say the Docathon will really be something that is great for you to participate as well. So before we end, Urban, any last words for the people?
I think you covered it really nicely. I think just have fun, happy hacking, and really enjoy the event. We're very much looking forward to seeing what you guys can come up with.
All right. So thank you all for taking the time, and we will see you around. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.